You may say, I don't know many scriptures. I don't know many Bible stories. I know that I love the Lord and I want to evangelize, but I am not a great Bible scholar. Oh, there's a fly flying around here. Or I may not, be able to break down the original Greek or the Hebrew for the text. So that makes you feel inadequate. But I am here to encourage you, because one of the greatest ways to evangelize, even if you don't know a whole bunch of scriptures, but you know that you have been changed, one of the greatest ways to start with evangelism is to just share your story. What has God done for you personally? Like, I just will make a natural analogy. Whenever someone tells me about a store, they can go on and on about the advertisements that they saw for the store, or how, they heard so many people talk about how wonderful the store is. But you get my attention when you say, you know what? I went there and girl, they had so many great sales. The clothing was high quality and it was, just at an affordable price. At that point, you get more my attention, because you bring in the personal aspect of it. You bring in your personal testimony, if you will. So you get my attention. Well, it's the same thing with us sharing about Jesus. It's one thing to just quote scriptures, but when you can say, let me tell you about what Jesus has done for me. Let me tell you about how he transformed my life. Let me tell you about how he gave me peace when I was going crazy. Let me tell you about how he delivered me from myself. At that point, that's a powerful testimony, and that's a great way to go and evangelize, right? And I love in John chapter 4, we have the story about the Samaritan woman, and we know that, Jesus met her at the well, and they're having this exchange back and forth, and, Jesus pretty much calls her out. He reads her like a book, like, yes, I know, you've been through quite a few husbands, and she's just like, oh my goodness, you know all my business. And ultimately she realizes that she's speaking to the Messiah, to Jesus, the one who was promised. And I love in John 4 verse 28, after all this exchange went on, verse 28 says, then leaving her water jar, the woman went back to the town and said to the people, come see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah? They came out of the town and made their way toward him. Now, let's jump down to verse 39. As a result of this woman's personal testimony, listen to what happened. Many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. He told me everything I ever did. So when the Samaritan came to him, they urged him to stay with them, and he stayed 2 days. And because of his words, many more became believers. Verse 42, they said to the woman, we no longer believe just because of what you said. Now we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this man really is the Savior of the world. If this doesn't get you just so excited to go out and share the good news, this woman just went back and shared her personal story. Like, let me tell you how this man just revealed all the things. No one could know this, right? And she's saying to them, can this truly be the Messiah? So because of her testimony, it caused the people to come back, and Jesus taught them. And as a result, they began, right, to believe, not just because of her own words. Her words and her being willing to share her testimony was a catalyst for them to come and hear from Jesus for themselves and come to the place of belief. This is exciting. This was not a woman who we would say was well qualified, if you will. She was living with a man, had 5 husbands, and she would be somebody that we would say, oh, she wasn't qualified. But she recognized, wait a minute, I'm in the presence of the Messiah. Something shifted in her spirit, and she was willing to go and share her testimony. And that was like a trickle-down effect. And she went and told others, and they in turn came to listen to Christ. So I want to encourage you to not be intimidated by what you don't know. Go on what you know. You know what God has done in your heart, and you go after it. And I'm going to have to stop here because my phone is ringing. All right, you be blessed. Go share your testimony and let the Lord use you.